My husband died 18 months ago, and a few weeks after his death, I was feeling absolutely angry, frustrated, grief-stricken, sad, all the negative things. And for some reason, my dining room was suddenly filled with one word, which was forgive. And I said, of course I forgive. And in that moment, all my anger went, and I just felt such a peace.
I was going up to the car park and I got a terrible pain across my chest. And I could hear my wife in the background getting fainter of voice, and everything started to go dim. I'd never really called upon God. And I just said, God, I place my wife and family in your hands, and I'm ready. And a warm glow went through the entire body. And I knew at that moment I was going to be all right. I knew that God was with me. And I kept thinking to myself, well, why has he picked on me? Well, I haven't even bothered talking to him for so many years.
And I was crossing the road and this scooter came and it knocked me down, and they gave me 5% chance to live because my kidneys began to fail, all my organs was just giving in. And then I was unconscious for 13 days. And I can even remember that my pastor had been to see me and he read a psalm. And when he was reading it at the time, he was saying, claim it, Sylvia, claim it. You know, I actually did, and God brought me round again.
I started with severe pains in the leg, and I needed a hip replacement. But it all went extremely well. I had an operation. The operation was very successful. That was a year or so ago, and the leg has continued to heal well, and I'm now back playing tennis again, of all things. I'm very grateful to the Lord for healing me in a sort of slow and unspectacular way.
When I was 4 years old, I was sexually abused by a very loved granddad until he died when I was age 13. There was a healing prayer team at St. Peter's, and I just felt sort of compelled to go and ask for prayer. And that was a series of a lot of things being dealt with to do with the abuse, and I had lots and lots of healing. But it didn't happen overnight, and I think when you've been seriously hurt or damaged, God doesn't just heal overnight. You want it to, but it doesn't happen like that because he's such a loving God, and he wants to heal you deeply and do it in a perfect way, and that takes time.
I still grieve for my husband, obviously. I'm sad. I didn't want to lose him. But it is a very, very peaceful grieving now, and I am able to look at all the happy times because God has taken away all the hurt and all the anger. And I just think he has just blessed me tremendously through this.
It's made my faith stronger, but also, so the wonderful thing that happened to me, it's also made me realise that I have the fear of God. What I mean by that is, I think, well, what he did for me was marvellous, but what could he do for me if I went against him? And it's brought me closer to God, but I still have that fear, and I'm grateful for that fear, because it makes me realise that God is all-powerful, and he tells us what to do, and he shows us the way.
Well, it's made a lot of difference, really. I mean, I went to church, I was a Christian before this happened, but since then, you do sort of ask why did he save me from it? Why it brought me round? But it has strengthened my faith as well, because I believe there was a God before, but more than ever, I really believe there's a God now. And I believe that God answers prayers, and he cares for us, and he loves us, and he wants the best for us.
Yes, it's a confirmation as far as faith is concerned. Although I was in hospital, I was never worried about it, and it confirms me the goodness of the Lord, that he does keep his promises. He may not keep them in a rapid and spectacular way, and he may not keep them in the way that you might wish, but the Lord will do it his way. My experience is that if you pray for healing, you will receive healing.
When I faced cancer, people said I was very, very strong and I had a strong faith, and I think I have. It's changed shape tremendously. Just feel because God's got me through the worst thing in my life, which was the abuse. But I knew he was holding on to me, and I kept looking back. And so when I was facing cancer, I kept comparing the abuse to the cancer. And that was sort of my benchmark of pain. So I thought, if God can get me through the abuse, he can get me through this.